build with this axe into shifters. Or maybe so Jotuns into shifters, then followed by more damage. I'm a little concerned if they can match that ability-based damage out of this Uller, considering a single target ability. I don't know. There's going to have some high execution gameplay to see the framing crew put up a house. I'm not saying they can't do it. I guess we'll find out. Listen to comms for this game. The problem is the comms when you're watching Smite, it's a 2-minute delay, right? So when you start talking about that kind of a delay, it's kind of not great. We'll be in the past, young men. That 2-minute delay is gonna kill us. The 2v2 is the old Joust map. So of this format, it is in the Discord, but it is the 2v2 Hou Zbo, the dual map technically, I guess would be the reference for now. He is streaming in call, it's true. We could pull those up later on. I'm not against that, seeing how the comms actually look. Just to spice things up a little bit. The real question is getting back into spectate, because I have not done this in a hot minute. Boom. This is the wrong map. Very much so. It would appear we can't read instructions. GG, go next. I'll allow it to play out, but for those that are playing the 2v2, it's the Hou map. I know it's really hard to read and follow instructions, but it's what you should be playing on, just around the same page. I know. Both teams disqualified. GG, go next. We'll have to work on literacy later. I know it's really hard for Smite players. Right off the rip. GG! You're all fucking out! Get out! The real question is, do we just attack the person who made the lobby? Surely it was not the framing crew. I don't know. So, Medusa going in Bluestone into Mystical Earrings right away. So not actually starting the Shifter Shield build. The only thing that really catches my eyes is Medusa has an Aegis. So it's just about everything on this build. The Aegis, obviously into an Uller. The knockup immunity maybe would go decently well into this Freya. But I'm not really super thrilled outside of that. Framing crew having wave pressure here. Both of them going to CC down a little bit. This is the first game. Uller axe off the mark. Now it turns into just wave clear. I'm hoping this Medusa doesn't go Griffins. I feel like that just wouldn't be the call here. They shouldn't be on this map. Yeah. They should be on the other map. Somebody didn't decide to read. So GG. Both CC used on this Medusa. She's half. Do they decide to take this fight? Soul pushing into this Uller. The damage she put out. This Uller a little poke down. So both alts off the framing crew. Soul looking to wrap. Can she find the damage? Freya's the target. Gotta be conscious. So Medusa just over half. What's up, Ramakami? John Blondie, dude, we gotta stop with this. Round 2 is not going to start because we're updating rosters as we go. So round 2 is going to wait until round 1's finished. I know it's not ideal, but just because I have to update rosters, that's how it will be. This is not the dual map, I know. For the last time, I'll say right now, somebody did not read instructions or listen to instruction even. It is supposed to be the dual map for the 2v2. I am allowing it just this once because I really don't want to sit there for them to restart it. Actually don't mind this aggression out of the framing crew. They're doing really well, but this Uller able to steal away the blue. No. I understand I gotta explain it several times, but just gotta go over it one step at a time. You're doing some decent poke onto this Uller. XP gold pooling just about dead even, so nothing really pulled yet. She wanted to get a little damage off as they'd step up to the red. Unfortunately, they're not willing to. I'm waiting to see these builds here. So I'm assuming, obviously, Hasten Fatalis. I'm waiting to keep an eye here as far as build. Medusa Aegis is down, so making her a prime target for the sex roster. I almost said for the sex roster to get on top of, making it a little awkward. But Griffin Wing is that pickup for this Medusa. The Shizzler looking to take it home. Both teams happily willing to farm away until they can find First Blood. The interesting part about this game being double ADC on both sides, as soon as we get a pick, if not a double, it's going to be ran home essentially because a double ADC able to knock down these towers exceptionally quick. They're on their own map, Zucchini. Dude, Pitt, you just like to watch the world burn, brother. Medusa getting a potential wrap here. Freya's the target, forced to ult and return, but the damage put out. A decent amount present. The soul ult, just not enough. And Uller trying to find the 3. Is the damage there for First Blood? Attire able to pick it up on Luke. Can he find the second on this Medusa as he positions a little aggressive in an axe stance, looking for that jump 3, not able to connect. Freya forced the back with Soul, willing to take an aggressive dive under tower, just not enough damage to secure it. Already back. As purple's up, red spawning shortly. Medusa staged, gotta be a little careful. She has Aegis, but if she gets caught in the CC, it's gonna be curtains. Red just spawned. There's one CC. The Aegis is dropped. There's the dash. Medusa gets caught by the Uller 3, just not enough damage. There is starters on this map, so it makes it very different. But hey, we'll get a little variety, I guess. It's not how it should look, to be clear. Yes, you pick one player off the losing team. The winning team will add to the roster. Uller looking to back finally. Take a look at that First Blood. Obviously the gold being the big spike there. More so on this Uller. It looks like it will be a shifter shield on the Soul. I'm interested to see what this Medusa picks up second item as they're content farming away. Look for this blue now. The Soul not really following as far as the farm, giving speed solo farm to Medusa. Give it a decent lead. So the Shizzler is going to have a fair amount of weight to carry. If the Medusa goes down, I'm a little concerned that's where you put most of your solo farm. The second round will be 2v2, so one roster will have 3, one will have to sit. The rosters will be locked once you reach 5s, so they'll get paid out the same. Just how the format works, unfortunately. Medusa gets caught due to the Aegis, forced to ult. Medusa actually dashes in. Both relics expended. Is the damage there? This Uller securing it. We didn't even have to drop relics from the side of this Uller. The immunity from Soul, able to immune that axe. Looking to back off. So, I'll explain it because I know a fair amount of you, especially in round 2, are sitting here now. Captains for the teams that are waiting in round 2. Round 1 will happen. They will take a member of the losing team, and they're going to round 2. Round 2 will still be 2v2, so those teams will have one person sitting. So round 2 will be 2v2, 3 will be 3v3, 4 will be 4v4, and finals will be assault. Once the team reaches 5, rosters are locked. right? So you hit 5, that roster's locked, and you're all paid out the same way. It's not necessarily ideal, but if I let them not pick up a team or a player from round 1, it might not be fair to those teams in round 1 due to them not having a buy. What's up, Satin? How are you? So they get to pick who wants, the captains get to pick who they want to have the 2 people play for round 2. I'm good, man. Chesters are spawned. The soul full damage with this haste and going into lifesteal. I'm a little concerned with this bruiser. Ooh, Medusa not catching this Freya. I was gonna say this. I'm a little concerned with the bruiser-esque builds on the soul Medusa, especially being behind. If this Freya Uller reach late game, I'm not sure they're gonna find what they need to in damage. The soul with the blink drops all, but do they have the damage? So double relic. So that blink Aegis forced and Medusa most likely gonna go down. Ulu looks for the jump. It's the 1v1. Can we get the autos? 2 autos miss. A tire misses the 1. Doesn't matter. Finds the damage. Soul just looking to farm the blue and scraps the Medusa. It is interesting. Well, if that's what it still works that way happen, because if the team with 2, you pick up a member of the losing team, and then round 3 is 3v3s, right? The only one it makes it a little weird for is the round 1 teams. So the round 2 teams makes the difference. I'll pull it up right after this and explain it, why we update rosters, so we're all on the same page, so you know. It works. I've done it a fair amount, so. I know it's a new concept to SMITE, but it's blue lock, essentially, for the first-person shooters. I'm concerned at this point. 3-0 up. All 3 kills on this Uller. The Medusa desperately trying to find some value off that ult. Unfortunately, Uller gets the back off. We have a 500 pot, decent spike here, especially going into this red. I'm worried with these builds. It's going to be really hard to come back from. Especially considering this Uller is level 17 with a 500 pot. Now having red, the damage is going to start to come through. Medusa Aegis still down for 60 here. Uller getting a little tired of waiting. Getting poked down a decent amount. This soul will have blink here momentarily. I wonder if she's actually going to look for it. Soul ult dropped. Medusa able to get a little damage, but the soul not actually staying with. Oh. And then Soul looked at the rock and Uller, but then the Freya just ran down this Medusa, put her in a corner, put her in a headlock. Both DPS for Sax able to push down this tower, get some damage off on it. Uller, unfortunately, aggroed. A little concerned with this Uller hits level 20, a massive spike for starter. Nat going hard on this Freya right now, actually invading blue, getting a fair amount of farm here. I wonder, the Soul's just now leaving spawn. This could be the result of T1 very easily. Especially with Soul not having blink. T1 is down. And that's the level 20 that you needed on the Uller. Bloodforge for the Medusa. Looking for that one pick into a potential shielding for another fight. Soul and Medusa ping down. That's a level 16 into a level 20 Uller. Definitely not an ideal that you want to see that. Freya positioned toward Bull and picks it up. Chester's here. Keep in mind, Bull obviously being buffed. Whoever's aggroing that debuff, 20% less damage and 40% less healing. So this Freya able to chunk it, not able to sustain straight through it. So they decide to back off. They look for these spikes and then go for a red. Uller says you'd rather have the red than grab back. We're now getting the Hasten Fatalis online for the Soul, but I'm wondering, will it be enough to find a way back in? They need one big fight, and that's what this comes down to a lot of times, is these bird defense, if not Titan defenses, can they find those picks with these double ADCs? They're not straight out of it. They can find a way back in. Make up for the 100 it cost me last night. This Uller at level 20 with Bluestone, that damage that just came through. He says, I'll jump in very confidently. Medusa has forced to drop both relics in the pathing. I'm afraid she's going to go down here. She's here alone. Unfortunately, both relics down. Soul actually blinks in. But does she have the damage she even can bat this double DPS? They're both level 20. Bird easily secured, and will that be game? Medusa down for 30. Soul does have ult. Will we find a miracle play? Gonna be forced to relic. Uller patiently waits out the ult and the damage. Just needs to secure that last auto, and they find it as Uller taunts the body of Cool Hand Luke. The framing crew, unfortunately, sent home early with no overtime as Sax finds a way to secure game number 1 of your BBC Assault. They're actually waiting. They are looking to find another kill. Ah, okay. In a cash tournament, the Sax roster of Attire and Natalie feeling confident enough to wait. Medusa not willing to step out. They weren't on a ward, but can clearly... Oh, there's the damage there anyway. They doesn't need anything else as they talk. Unfortunately, Fire Wave knocking on the Titan as Uller decides to back. Soul just spawning as Fire Wave knocks on this Titan. Disqualified. The back as Titan is being aggroed. We haven't gotten started yet on this Freya, so they're waiting to grab red. Soul's here alone. Medusa just about to spawn. Soul with the big blink on the Freya. She's forced into ult. Aegis off the Medusa as Uller in the middle of 2. Secures the kill on to the Soul as Freya chunks down this Medusa. And both members down for 50 as Fire Wave is here. And minions will potentially end it as both members of the Sax roster send back. This is the most BM ending. Jesus. The Winions. Fire Archers looking to end the game. That's going to be a GG for round 1, game 1 of your BBC $500 Assault Lock tournament. The build's looking crispy. It's not what you would have expected or liked to see, but... Alright. So I got, obviously, Moxie and them, you guys won. I need captains. I need you guys to either post in the captain chat or put it in here. Who are you guys taking for rosters? Victory sacks? I didn't think about that way. That's crazy. I'm curious, chat, who you guys actually think's coming out on top here? As we're waiting to load in. Who you think's taking it home? For current... You got some absolute rosters. I'm sure watching Father and Son and LPH, who just got underway. I'm curious to see who comes out, at least to the Siege side and quarters. Semifinals, if you will. All right. Quarterfinals, Joust 3v3 underway. There's that auto attack Zonquay I talked about. There's the Aegis. Now I'm watching what he picks up on a relic usage here. He does go Thorns. So they are going to look, and I can almost call this out now, they are going to look for this KA with this cripple field and execution with that damage from the Zonquay. KA's got to be a little conscious. That being the case, he will be that target. Will he find that value his team will desperately need from him? I'm a little surprised here is that's not a... We're actually going horrific shell. That it's not like a Heavenly or a Sunder. Or instead going this... And a mistake. Kind of a Bouge Aegis, if you will. Called out on Hydrogen already. Just a misclick. It's be a little awkward for him. Zonquay with that mannequin's already looking to press up a little bit. And Zonquay with a beautiful stun to make sure he doesn't get dash off. Ardio stepping forward a little bit here. Some decent damage. That mannequin's doing work though. Zonquay and Achilles able to secure purple buff. Yu Hong stayed with wave. So that's purple. So neutral farm. They're gonna grab minis here, do wave, and look for a back instead. They're actually playing aggressive, looking for something. They got a double. That mannequin's pressure actually allows them to steal minis away. And they hit level 5 because of that. They hit it early. So level 5's on both teams and Archer's left. So backs are off. This will be those T2 spikes you're looking for, especially going into this red buff. Take a quick peek at level in order here as they start to go into that. Checked on one team, we'll check on the other shortly. So red has spawned a decent ult. There's the KA is the target. The Achilles execution, pops horn chart as well. Ults. It's the damage there. Shell used. Achilles, unfortunately, is able to get out, and the KA turned on from the Zonquay. They weren't able to secure the pickup on that Achilles, who's able to get under tower. And his Ardio Zonquay able to turn that damage and find the pick themselves. A huge turn for LPH. Just not enough damage. Yu Hong staying and holding wave for him. Check leveling order on the other teams. with shifter shields for them already under works, if not already finished. Take a quick peek. First Blood's but already 1,000 XP, 1,000 gold for LPH. Decent lead as purple spawns in. Father and son willing to take their minis as a consolation prize. Grabbing Johnson. Zonquay is actually hovering toward Bull. I'm not sure you have the damage or pressure for that. Achilles trying to get some value here. Chunked down substantially. Cthulhu goes into ult. There's a big fight. Achilles is the target. Can they find the damage? Achilles targeted out once again. Zonquay. Now that target, Aegis secured. Okay, ults. Do they have the damage? They find it. And they find a double. Can they find a third? Father and son absolutely ripping through LPH. Zonquay trying to get his Achilles out of danger. Unfortunately, puts himself in danger. But a double, a beautiful shift for that lead. Almost completely recovered. That 1,000 gold, 1,000 XP nullified for father and son. Meanwhile, Zonquay just riding along. And somehow, someway, Ardio able to steal Red Puff away from the Yuhong. Commonly known as the Mash of Dong. Okay, he's doing some numbers. I think Star Sample unfortunately had to back, so that secure kill not going to come through. It's crazy the lead that they had originally, unfortunately, just no longer there. Zonquay, a level 9. That lead kind of sits with his Ardio. Johnson secured by LPH. It's a dash forward. That's a decent amount of damage from one ability of the Yuhong. There's nothing else on the map. Purple spawning shortly. Waiting for those level 12 spikes, second relics. Waiting to see what they actually pull forward from that. I'm waiting to see when Zonquay, I mean, obviously he's got second relic. I'm wondering if he's going to drop a Fatalis, third item, and then look for a lifesteal at the end. Or how he's going to build this. But a lot of value, obviously, as an auto attacker. He's not really finding a ton just yet. But I'm not going to count him out. The level 12 starting to tick over. Is red now on Zonquay, and they're looking to secure Johnson as well. They're starting to recover some of this farm, which is not exactly what you want to see, and it's interesting to look at the build here for Achilles. A little out of his element. speed, just pathing back in here. Looking to grab blue now. So second relics, you have two relics here. I'm assuming now they're gonna back and grab their second relics. I'm assuming this could be a Thieves now as well. It is. So Achilles looking to grab that HP and just be as tanky as possible, it'll appear. Assuming this could be a Shogun's on the Ardio, trying to help that attack speed for the Zong. What's up, Ramakami? No, we're shifting it. So it would be best of 1, finals, best of 3. You're good. We're making adjustments given how long we took in round 1. Thank you for asking, though. We'll clarify that starting before we start semis. Massive ult from Yu Hong, the stunned out dash. Zhong drops ult. Do they have the damage? Zong, the Aegis gets off, and unfortunately for the Cthulhu, goes down in ultimate. Zhong Kui able to survive off the back of a wonderful ult and Aegis. Was that value I talked about off of Achilles into Cthulhu? He had Aegis, but unfortunately would have had to cancel ult to immune that execution. So red is spawning, Zhong Kui full health stepping in. So now 2 for 2. That lead almost completely recovered. So father and son in a rough spot here. So relics, a little, I don't want to say yet a relic graveyard on the side of LPH, but they pick up blinks. They don't have defensive relics at the moment, and Ardio hasn't picked up the second relic yet. Maybe waiting to see what relics are coming across for father and son. But a double blink on this Achilles and Zhong Kui. LPH securing Johnson. Cthulhu's pathing, I'm assuming just drop a ward. We're just checking bull. So we got a ward aggressive and on bull here. Zhong Kui sends back Ardio here alone. Stash off. No neutral buffs are up. Okay, so we went 3 rings. I'm assuming this could be Fatalis now. This will be a huge spike on the side of LPH, and I'm interested to see what father and son and their roster has to do to answer it. Okay, sending back. Red should be spawning almost as KA reaches. So red's up. Already pulled. Are they going to be giving? KA with the blink in. Immediately goes into ult. And the ult from Yu Hong, not enough. Aegis immediately dropped, and heavily as well. Zong in the back, putting in work. Now Ardio seems to be that target. Immediately turned on Achilles, waiting with execution to see if anyone gets low. Nice 3-man knockup via Cthulhu. Red is aggroed on a Cthulhu. Achilles trying to secure it. Fortunately unable to do so. The root comes through. Does Yuhong have the damage behind it? Dash into the cripple field immediately. Stopped. And Yuhong not able to find that damage follow-up on Zhonghui after. Will those backs come through? They decide to stop the backs for DPS. Purple pulled by KA. Neutral wards across. Almost a ward line, if you will, similar to Conquest. Blue now being invaded. Zhonghui is here. Ardio looking to back. So 2v3. They are able to steal it. Chester's up. Quick look at leads. This is incredibly even. Be a decently long game, although I do think this is going to come down to starters. Fatalis is going to be huge for the Zhonghui. Fatalis already online now. I am going to say I do heavily favor LPH. Once this Zhonghui gets online, his tanking is going to be insane, but and this Achilles execution is going to be really hard for Father and Sons unless you get a pivotal cast from Yuhong. You better pray at that point it's not Aegis down. This Ob Shard going to be super important. The 10% cooldown he has, he's got to be oh so careful with those casts. The blink in is the damage there. Yuhong waits to all. Unfortunately not able to. He pulls back double front line, but Zong able to Fatalis away. And the damage he is putting out in the front. Achilles goes for the execution, gets Aegis out. The KA forced up big ult away. Cthulhu gets Cripple Field down. And unfortunately for him, Fatalis is putting in work for this Zhonghui. And phenomenally played by this RDO. Those cripple value onto the KA, then Cthulhu. Now they're knocking on the door. This T1 Heavenly's dropped. A beautiful blink seal bash forces beads off Yuhong. As Zhonghui puts down T1. Not sure they're going to look much further outside of that. They are pathing toward Bull, though. Cthulhu's down for 27. They are on a ward here. I don't know where they're going to look. Bull's at half. It's a quarter, so they get it, but can they get out? Beautiful stun by KA. And they find some big value. Fortunately, Bull down. Now 50 seconds of power pay. Cthulhu is up. Can they find a T1 of their own? I hear you on the double all at the same time. This Fatalis is just going to be absurd with those rings. And I am surprised this isn't a Shogun's. He does go Genji's. We do have starters starting to come online, though. RDO are the first one to buy a starter, and I'm assuming these other two soon to follow. There's starter 4KA. Bulls at half. They still have a 14-second power play. They're remaining on the defensive. Instead, content with farming up these starters. So both teams 3 members strong. Starters online for everyone outside of this Cthulhu and Achilles. And Relics just coming back up. Aegis now available to the Zhonghui as they're going to be pathing in. Neutral buffs are secured already. RDO does a cripple field. There's a big blink in. Terrific drop. Can they find the damage they are putting on this KA? But the execution not there. Heavenly drop to try to secure a follow. Can they find the damage? They do. Fortunately, Bird's up, so you got to be careful here. So you don't have an execution anymore. Zong gets knocked up. Cthulhu looking for anything after. RDO Another weird spot. Zonkway doesn't have Aegis. And immediately goes down to it. Can they catch this Ardio? All relics are down. Yu Hong kind of kite after the autos. He finds it. Star Sample. Able to find a full wipe. 30 plus seconds available as these death timers are nowhere near what you saw in the 2v2s. This is almost certainly a T1, but can you find a bird off of it? That's the question I'm looking for as Wave Cthulhu trying to aggro as much as possible. Forced to step out. 16 seconds on Achilles. He will not have blink, so this is very potentially a bird. 10 seconds. Full clears. 6 seconds. This should be a bird. Okay. Achilles has no way to chase this out. So a massive fight. Very well played by father and son to find a full wipe. Rival street handles. He's not better? That's messed up. Wonderfully done by father and son. And immediately in return play, the Zonkway aggressively pulling bull. No ward to catch that out. I taught Star everything he knows. What's up, Street? They have massive callouts. So obviously almost full build. I'm assuming this is a Gem ISO? Surely, right? So they get bull. And this is going to come down. You're 20 minutes. This comes down to that one fight. One pick. If not a duo pick, then that game's over. Relics are all up. So everything is up on both teams. What can they find? Father and son, now the ones knocking on the door of the Titan. Just starting a little aggro here. They have fire waves to work with. Big damage from this Yu Hong with starter, Opshard, Soul Reaver. Like I'd mentioned, the only negative to what he's doing is that 10% cooldown in that build. Every cast has to mean something. They have blinks. You got to be oh so careful. Zonkway wanted it. Fortunately not willing to extend. So purple be secured via KA. It's a 500 pot. An approximity award for the Zonkway. So with Bull being down, what I'm looking to see here, and I'm assuming father and son will be looking to do, is using Fire Wave to put themselves in a position to secure this bird. You got to be conscious. The other side, LPH, almost certainly aware of that. And looking for these double blinks in. The other portion you got to be aware of is the double Sunder Axe into this Cthulhu. That damage is gonna come through in a really rough way. Those procs are gonna do some numbers on this front line of father and son. So LPH able to secure red buff. It doesn't look like they're going to be pushing this. That's your last fire wave they're looking at right here. I would have thought they would have looked to push with it. Unfortunately, they're going to be waiting for Bull. Play it safe. So Achilles picks up the red buff. I think the other thing that's notable for those teams that maybe you're going to see these teams in the next round of Siege is just the ward coverage. You haven't seen a ton of it since that ward line I'd mentioned earlier for father and son. Both teams content with fighting in mid lane. Especially as we start to hover around Bull right here. As I call that out, now the warded coverage starts to come through. Achilles, that Sunder X procs. Achilles able to get on top of this KA, where KA is forced to ult. Yuhong with a massive cast onto the Zhong Kui. Aegis and Shell now use. Can they find that secure? And they do. All three members off the back of Star Sample's cast onto the Zhong Kui. All three are healthy. And Achilles, the last member standing of LPH, being chased down by father and son, and a massive blink by KA goes into charged ult. Now just play with your food while the two members, or remaining two members of father and son, look to push. A beautifully played by father and son. Just Zhong Kui not able to have any survivability. Father and son, remaining two members, finalizing the finish of Titan. While KA make sure that Achilles can't back, and a GG. Beautifully done. And Star Sample is your father. I think we figured out who's father and who's son. You know what I'm saying? We decided. Star Sample is daddy. Unfortunate. GG. That's crazy. Listen, man, we talked about that build, that 10% cooldown. It hits, but you gotta find value on the cast he did. He found it and able to secure that game. Wonderfully done. So for father and son, that roster, who are we picking up? Need my thoughts on DMs? The hell? Completely understand where that's going from. So I'm going to start this next prediction real quick while we wait to load into the semifinals best of one. Oh. Okay. Why did we get kicked out of that? The lobby collapsed, or they canceled it? They must have canceled it. Okie dokie. Crash, gotcha. It's fine. I can't, man. They paid too much for me to be disrespectful in that way, Buffy. I know. I can't be rude. When you drop 25 subs just for me to watch a certain game, I kind of have to. I'm locked in. Raining, is this entertaining? Why is this doing this to me? Why do you want to be in that, bro? I can't. That's like, I gotta be out of respect for the tournament. I can't do that. I was watching their POV. I force people to be in VCs, right? To watch screen shares, make sure no one's cheating, hacking, voice changers, etc. Right? For the integrity of the tournaments, especially as the money goes up. I don't want to punish them for that by putting other people in it. So out of respect for that, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I have to stick with the rule of what I created. I don't want people to regret why I created the VCs in the first place. I appreciate you guys wanting to do that. I'm sorry, but no. But already back in. Lobby recreated. We load in here. I know, guys. You guys are going to realize no matter how much money you offer me on that, you're offering me a couple thousand. I'm going to hold to integrity before you hand me money. The money does not mean as much. But I appreciate you asking first, so thank you for being respectful in that way. Okay, well, they recreated, so we don't have bans to show. Bribing, not OP. It's crazy. I'm glad we're on the same page with that. Alright. Beautiful. Siege, everybody. Semifinals, best of one. Imagine not supporting your partner's crazy. What is one of my mods, Michelle? I don't know. Are you able to put a prediction, or can I have someone else put it up? Not let me cook. I'm sorry. No, you're good, guys. I'm not upset in the slightest of that. To be fair, I just there's a reason why I had it that way. So just to be clear on what it's doing. Like I force people to be in these VCs, and one of them screen sharing, so we can monitor games. No one's DDoSing lobbies, cheating. It keeps the integrity of it. And I don't want to, like, if I'm in a money match, I'm not gonna have someone sitting there. It's just no. Still my boy, yeah. So I'm gonna hold to that integrity side of it. But already underway, Siege. The 4v4. You're fine, Michelle. I'm looking at builds here, so Marty's gonna be going to Soul Eater. Assuming that's a Blackthorn or Runeforge for this Achilles. Shifters. I'm a little surprised by Orangu on Atlas is going, instead of going Shifters, going Thieves. Maybe Thieves Shifters. Are he's gonna be doing that. I'll keep an eye on it. You got to be conscious as far as the globals, right? When this Giannis, that ultimate, Giannis loves this map, so I'm interested to see how this turns. Is Trill, one of my other mods, able to put it up? I don't know if assuming Natalie's in a slash. I'm watching the other side of the map at the same time. A DPS. Achilles gets pulled back. Do they have the damage? Song does a little knock up. Ooh, what a big cast from the Yuhong, who has ult now. The other side, Giannis and Odin ults are both dropped. Beads pulled off of Marty. Gonna time out Michelle? Never. So I'm assuming backs will be triggered here. Oh, I got a timeout. Oh, you actually reward. Okay, I'm sorry, trolling. Hold on. You actually redeemed that. Hold on, chat. I'm sorry. I'm trolling. Community roles. Where is she? Michelle. Boom. Boom. Come on. Stop. Timeout. There you go. Timed out. No way you're letting him play this out? I am letting it play out. Nay, I'm trying to keep it like it would literally uproar everything. It's not that easy just to flip that. You put it in Discord, Michelle. It's crazy. Like I said, the rest of the team will be paid, or we'll figure out how to do that. Free Michelle is insane. All right, so no first bloods as of yet. Odin's hovering. It's a double shell here, obviously for the Odin cage. And Odin has beads. No first blood as of yet. It's being pinged out to actually pull the siege as they backed off. It's a big call out by the Zook squad. And they are able to secure that. The big thing that's difference between Slash and this is they come through instantly on these sieges. There's not a button for that. Nor would I. That's just rude. I need them for the tournament. Gonna have a limit on that big dog. So decent amount of damage. They're trying to make sure they have something to battle here. That's a big pullback. Now Odin's looking to get active. So one siege down. Can they find the second? Atlas doing some absurd work. Achilles look for a wrap. He grabs beads off of the Giannis. Giannis ulting back in here, and a massive Yuhong ult. But unfortunately for the Yuhong, gets caught by that Giannis ult. Is the damage there? What an insane stun. That damage, he's able to find it off of the Fafnir breath. But they lose T1. Both sieges go down. And they get a pick. All off the back of that Yuhong ult. A 3-man pull. And I gotta say it, Star Sample is putting on a legacy night on this pick. Gotta be a little careful here. Double stun, proximity ward for the slow. Can they close this gap? Achilles is gonna be the target. The slow from Marty. They're looking to chase this down further. Hammers off. Giannis hovering. It's going to be just dispersed from there and go to waves. The siege done. So T1 for T1 and first blood. It gives you a little bit of a lead here for father and son. Check leveling order. The damage from this Atlas wrong you. Putting up numbers for the Zook squad. Taking a peek at leveling. See if there's anything out of the ordinary. Might be a little different. Trying to get backstopped. Assuming it's going to be a little bit of back and forth until next siege or until second relics are up. We still don't have Phantom Shell here yet. And beads are down for both DPS. I'm not going to feel really comfortable stepping forward. Maybe a little bit of a slow one here momentarily. Sieges should be spawning almost simultaneously with that mid-siege spawning. It's going to be pinged out, and I'm interested to see ward coverage. So you already have a sentry on both sides here. Mainly just for that mid. So Faf places his first. Giannis is going to come across to grab his. So actually he places it right here. As he's being chased down. Medusa, Atlas pushing up just a little bit. And they are very aware of the shift. Maybe even look to pinch it. All outs are up. Good sidestep from the Achilles. Can he catch it? Atlas is going to be the target, looking for that execution. Atlas does not have Aegis. And a beautiful Giannis ult to get him out of danger. Faf forced to jump away. That with the Atlas ult. So that is 3 ults dropped for 1 to get him out. So not a bad fight. Obviously still favoring father and son. Medusa as the target. Achilles with a beautiful stun. Really well done from Rags. Father and son putting on a show. You got to be pretty happy with that. They got to pick for 27. You have a siege up. They can all spawn through it. Both DPS waiting to go through that until the last minute. DPS actually showing. So they're actually deciding to walk this. And they want to go to Jug here. Atlas still down for 6. But they can come through this. So they should secure mid easily. And then immediately go to right. Is this where the Zook squad's fully going to come through and get T1 here? Should be an easy T1 at that. Oh, they're actually looking for an aggressive wrap. And Giannis going to be an easy target. Forced out. Can they get to this Medusa? But Odin's back with a blink in for the tanks. And unfortunately, Marty should go down pretty easily, but all three of the reclaps backwards. Giannis ult steps forward, and Giannis not able to catch him. Siege still here. I would have sworn, especially with the Marty ult down, for an aggressive step forward, it would have been an easy pickup. Achilles, you got to be careful. Achilles ult coming up shortly. Siege Jug's taken down, and they have theirs here for T1. They're going to make sure they can't get backs off. Achilles aware of the back. So their DPS going to back here and look for Siege. This is full health. So she should go T1 for T1. It's going to be a little bit of a chess game. And can they find any value off the back of the Siege? 3/4 HP on it. It looks like the call is to back off. So there shouldn't be... It's not a big lead. It's not the slightest. I think the big thing I'm looking at here is you don't have Aegis on this front line. You don't have Aegis on the Atlas or the Odin. And if that Achilles can find a mass value, or even on the Giannis, Rag can have a legacy game off those picks and easily secure this game winning for father and son. But can they find that value? I hate how Siege is not meant to be spectated. Like, I get it, because it's not like a common mode, but it's a little frustrating. It's a little rough. Dunda, dunda, dunda. So Marty's trying to hide the fact his grass is there. All 4 members of Zook Squad kind of hovering here. What I'm waiting to see is there going to be any real warding coverage? Obviously, that's decently expensive as far as gold. But the ward coverage is going to be pretty rough to deal with done properly. This game's going to sit win condition for father and son, that ward coverage for the Giannis. And the execution from this Achilles finding some big value on the other side. Can this Giannis Medusa work from front line to back? If not, the Giannis find a massive ult on either Marty or Yu Hong, because that damage can come forth pretty easily with that mobility. Giannis looks to be the target. There's the damage. Achilles is waiting for it. Can we find it? The body block, and there it is! Unfortunately for an active, the team was there and waiting. So the blink, Marty gets the root and immediately throws down on this Giannis. Medusa, big hover. The beads for the slow. Faf forced into ult. Do we have anything for him? Holding stun. Stun not reaching. Atlas isn't up. Or excuse me, Giannis isn't up yet. So it's still a 3v4. You gotta be careful with the buttons. Raven ward set. Interesting. Giannis doesn't have ult, so there's not gonna be much there. They want to try to stop backs. Atlas dashing forward. They're trying to stop back so we don't find value off that siege, but it's a pretty careful moment. They want to do that for the reclaps back here to grab middle. They should have the DPS to do that freely, but this is full health. Instead, they give. They don't go through it at all. Interesting. So they're going to play defensive. Both teams playing it very slow. Not in any hurry, and they want to play this properly. That Siege doing work to the tower, though. The other side, a defensive push to make sure they take care of the other side of it. Now they just back off, go left, and here turns into the defense. Long, grabbing red. Neither DPS is here. You gotta be careful. Medusa goes through this fast, waiting. We hit the hammer, but DPS not really able to follow it. Achilles is being pinged out. They know he's there. I'm not really sure why Rags is there. Faf jumps in. He catches the dash. A wonderful Faf jump in. That's beads off of this Medusa, and Achilles is wrapping. You have to be so careful here. Marty with a beautiful blink in. Giannis ult not able to save you. You're in trouble. And everyone from father and son says, I'm going to teach you he's fucking daddy. Wrong you. Forced to go down alone. 2 members strong. 40 seconds for father and son looking to put down the Zook squad. They have minions here, so backdoor prots. You are going to have those down. We don't have execution, but the damage is immense. Odin forced to jump away and beads to get that mobility. 20 seconds. Can they end? And is the call an end? Giannis doesn't have ult. Odin doesn't have ult. He blinks in, tries to get any real value. And Achilles looking for a kill. Unfortunately, he's able to get into Titan Room. Medusa up in 4. Team's got to be careful as Giannis has 3/4. And a beautiful ult from Star Sample. He is looking to set up his legacy off of this match. Medusa trying to close gap. Yuhong's got to be careful. Medusa does have ult. That damage from range more than enough to secure it. Odin looking to close off this Yuhong, and that spit does it. There's the Giannis ult. Achilles now the target. You got to be careful. If we start staggering deaths, this will be game. On the other side of it, father and son. This is that chase I was talking about. Marty has to be careful and not go down here. Now Faf doesn't have ult. He's going to be in a weird spot. This is that moment you did not want to have happen. Because now you're in a weird spot. Marty has to survive. You have to survive for that wave clear. Wave's already here. 20+ seconds for any help for this Marty. Marty doesn't have relics. He has ultimate. And he's got to be careful because they both have ults. Good cast on the wave. Forced to ult for the CC immunity. Is the damage there? So Yuhong's up. Atlas is tanking this up for him. This is that staggering of deaths I was talking about. It's not insanely costly. It costs you a T2. You got to stop that bleeding right now. There's no need to play to that aggression. They recover that XP. And that's decently important, especially as your Fafnir is level 16. You need to cauterize that wound, if you will. There's no need to bleed that out. I appreciate that aggression. Mid-jug, surely the next target for the Zook squad. Achilles already stepping up here. Let's take a look at the relics. As both of these defensive relics come up, Giannis just going to have his beads available to him, but won't have blink. So that was that massive recovery I was talking about. They overstayed their welcome just a little bit, especially with the Giannis chase potential at that ult. There's the last thing you want to be doing here. This is pulled, and Zook squad surely knows about this with the noise, but not willing to step forward because of fire wave pressure in left lane. Content with sending backs. This is a double siege push. This is a huge push. If they present with these sieges, this fire wave will beat this siege out. And it might even push to secure that bird, depending on the number of waves that will be there. Surely it'll be about 3. So you want to keep all 4 here with you, especially with the siege pressure. They're here with them. Medusa trying to get desperately any damage she can on these siege juggernauts before they're in a position to push. Giannis is hovering on left. They place a sentry defensively. That spit gonna do some work for them. Achilles now hovering, so they get 1 maybe dealt with. This should be still T2. Yu Hong with a beautiful 3-man pull. Giannis ult was forced. So the Joust here, this should be the T2. The Marty eviscerates this Giannis on the backline and is immediately looking for this Medusa. Forces Aegis, beads forced on himself. Fafnir in ult, and the siege is still alive. And a pivotal one at that. That Giannis is down. Medusa still has ult, so you got to be a little conscious of that. Here's that push. Faf steps in. Medusa beads as well. So both relics are off this Medusa. Only thing she has left up to her name is that ultimate. Hers and Atlas's ult, and a massive pull from Atlas. But is the damage? There it is. Can they secure the kill? Medusa with a beautiful 3-man ult. Unfortunately, is it enough? Fafnir's low. They have that sentry. Giannis up in 17. No ult for the chase potential. Odin deciding whether he wants to chase or not. Medusa forced to back up. Trying to save right bird from this fire wave like I'd mentioned on that push. They did secure that DPS. But is the minion archers enough? And it is. Both birds down. Odin stepped alone. Marty here. But Giannis not going to have ult to close the gap. And the drop of that kill might be too little, too much. The Giannis ult dropped. Can they close that gap in time? And he is able to get the back off. So Giannis ult extended. How long is that cooldown? That's 60 seconds. With 2 down. Gonna have 30 seconds on the Odin. No siege to close that gap quickly enough. But is it enough for them to secure this victory with both birds down? Father and son looking for the massive push and a big win here in the semifinals. Marty's waiting. I'm looking at here. You don't have blinker beads, so he's just patiently... There's no need to rush this. Giannis still doesn't have ult for about 30. Odin just spawning now. We don't have starter yet on this Atlas, so you don't have the Sundering Axe proc. And that damage is immense to deal with. Achilles pushing right lane, so they're... You know when you're 3 here, they can push it a 4. Achilles nowhere near, so you gotta be conscious of that. You can't just take that fight. Medusa, content with taking that fight on Achilles. She doesn't have relics. Atlas pulled in. Gets his dash caught, but is the damage there? They're putting it as much down in the Titan as possible. It resets. Achilles on the other side with this Medusa. Is the DPS there for the Yu Hong? This should be death, but can they secure it? Odin Cage doesn't catch him. And it's out of range. Giannis dropped ult. Fire waves pouring in. The Zook squad trying to survive here. There's no hurry. Fafnir ult's going to be surely detransforming, and they are healthy. You have to back off. This could be very easily an overstay welcome, considering they have double blink, actually quadruple blink. Triple blink, excuse me. Triple blink on the side of Zook, so you do not want to overstay that. I think you just grab mid, look for that push, and an easy win with fire wave pressure. There is no need to rush. I think a pivotal call out is Marty. These plays from Hydrogen with this blink root on this Giannis puts him in such a weird spot. Almost like Giannis has to immediately ult for that CC immunity to make sure he's not rooted in place and able to get away, but he's got to hover near a wall because that's all that Hydrogen is looking for. Making it a little awkward as far as positioning for him to really operate in a safe environment. Birds spawning shortly in Zook squad fighting desperately to give themselves a chance to keep that alive. I'm surprised we're not grouped up here on the side of father and son looking for this bird to make sure they still have a door open for a push. They're hovering. Marty's looking for it. Yu Hong is nowhere near. Bird's up. There's that Giannis. He is hovering wide. So Atlas does have the Sundering Axe. That damage is going to come through, and it's going to be immense. There's the ult, but he doesn't catch anyone. It's one of the few ults we've seen that were just wrong. Unfortunately, just not enough. Daff throws immediately into ult, but you got to be careful. There's the Marty. Immediately eviscerates, but now forced the beads on a land, but goes down a turn. Can they find this Medusa? He's tanking under bird. He finds the execution. Rag from rag to riches. Finding that pick off Aegis being down. Absurd. So well done from them. Semis are best of one. We stated that several times as a change due to the time frame and what we're playing now. And a GG. Father and son put down the Zook squad and take home semifinals for Siege. It's going to be decent to see how they play that out. Obviously in lane, it's going to be really interesting. Let me move my camera. Boom. Who's the assault main? Never seen it. It's the first time for everything. I don't even know how to arrange that because that's just not going to be... I mean, I guess that's the best I have. Sure. Rags is a legend. We've seen the KA and his Achilles. The execution popped off. Alright. This is their moment. Oh wow, they went double breastplate on these mages. Damn. So Bracer off the Faf. Double work, War Flag, Sovereignty, so we have the Aura. You have a double breastplate. This dive is going to be rough. Triple beads, med, thorns. There's no range damage outside of Wukong Bludgeon. Monkey Bounce. You know what's crazy though? So like, yes, this is not comfortable, but what's gonna happen? I wonder if what's gonna happen is Father and Son have a better range comp, right? They win, and then Zook Squad's gonna have a better one in draft, and there's gonna be the third draft, and everyone's gonna complain we don't get a reroll. I'm calling this out now. We're gonna turn into homes. It's gonna be I got fucked by RNG. Ouch. Tiger stun in, beads right away. Colin goes an ult, gets a double. So there's no blinks. I'm assuming I want to say Willix would be the target, but at the same time, like, what's a Willix really gonna do? That hammer slow on 4 is rough. A beautiful kick and the damage. There's that dive I talked about. It is more than enough for a Hera. Cuckoo ult not able to finish off the Ratatasker, and that's that dive I talked about. Coordinated properly, this is gonna be really hard for Father and Son, especially early. And they had more than enough damage to do it. Especially with the double mage going breastplate first, they don't have any real damage. It's unfortunate the Cuckoo ult wasn't able to connect. Taunt. Tiger's done. They're looking for the CC chain. Arrow dropped off. So meditation was used here. Got a decent start to that fight. This Gilgamesh putting in some work. Akami trying to just close the gap. At this point, you're kind of just waiting for these ults to come back up before you can really engage it. Wukong and able to close off the Athena. Cuckoo just not able to catch. That NATO, once it starts to have DPS behind it, it's going to be rough to deal with. Rag with this good Colin trying to repeat performance similar to his KA and Achilles. Those ults are coming up. Everyone besides Wukong currently has it. Oh, I have changed names. I'm trolling. I'm sorry. I was wondering. Father and son, that's Moxie, so that is right. And then NTD. Oh, and I do that as they're all dying. A beautiful Bats ult with Gilga. The Willix able to somehow survive. Instead, they completely turn it, and the Wukong misses ult but hits the bludgeon. His clone tanking. And Fafnir missed the stun with the Athena movement speed, able to return that. Rat thinks about it and takes it. That tower shot does the finishing hit. They're able to pick up the orb. I need to change this. Spectator. NTD. Alright. Cuckoo Wall not able to find it there, but a beautiful combo from NTD, and they find a wonderful combo off the Athena taunt. Sinto, appreciate the follow. Welcome, welcome. Feather stab. She wants to jump on this Bats. One shard popped. The beads to step forward, and she's not able to find the pick. How do you join? So we actually run monthly cash tournaments. Any money I make off Twitch, I put into tournaments. This was just an Assault Lock tournament. So we'll actually put up a poll as what tournament we're doing for next month, end of August, early September, and what you guys want to do from what we make from Twitch. So they're all waiting here for the orb. No one's healthy for father and son. Trying to step forward, NATO drop, trying to catch him. Bats does have all. There's the Athena taunt. They're waiting for anything behind that. Bats drops all. The Cuckoo ult catches the Ratatosker, put him in a weird spot. But do they have the damage they do to secure the pickup on the Cuckoo? But the Willix could call in, pick up the Assassins on the other end, and a kick in secures the pickup on the Willix as the taunt on Colin pulls him back in, hoping to kill him, but unfortunately for NTD, they're not able to put down Rags. For the CC chain, Gilga's able to survive. And Hera with Argos able to track that down. Wukong waiting to bowl, try to get out. There's the bowl, catches it. Beautiful wait. We're zoned by the Faf. Make sure he's not able to get out. Father and son finally catching their second wind here. Fafty's transforming, so decides to step back. A Willix gets taunted it. Now going to be CCA chained under tower. It's just a matter of time before we see some damage from these mages with builds, so I'm interested to see how these couple items play out. Rag might be him. Rag might be him. Gogo's looking for a wrap. He doesn't have blink. His beads are down for 80. But he's looking for a kick back into his team. Unfortunately for him, getting CC chain. Willix actually pulls back. The feather steps there. Bats drops ult mixed with Gilga ult. And father and son's roster just disappear under the pressure. Rat up with ult. Gonna be stunned. Be pushed, potentially pushed back in. Can Colin, can Rags be that for his team? Unfortunately for him, goes down to a 5-man strong dive from NTD. What a back and forth. See, we say that, yes. I think mid to early, they're going to run away with this. And I don't think you should be upset about it, because they're doing really well with it. But we'll find out. Will's trying to chase it down. And there are no rerolls at being best of 3 like we talked about in the beginning of this game. They can easily have this happen the other way around. So I guess we'll find out. So Gilga getting these 2 T1s via passive. Waiting to see second relics. We got a Sunder here for this Athena. A Blink Thorns for Wukong. He bowls to get to the orb. Ratatoskr and Athena are just catching up here off respawn. So you have 40% cooldown here for Hera. 30% for the Cuckoo. Now it's just a matter of getting some percent pen online. The Cuckoo Rags is trying his best to do God's work in this backline. How he's still alive is beyond me. Ratatoskr trying to re-engage. All ults down. Can they find anything after? Athena getting gridlocked here. Wukong be chased down by Kukulin, who beads, and he's able to secure Rags. Might just be him as he's trying to secure this game 1 for his team. So Rags decides to drop. Looking to finish some builds. I'm interested to see how that looks. Unfortunately, Willix drops with him. So they're staggering their kills. And it's notable that they're just not getting full wiped, right? So you're not giving a team any value. But Moxie picks up Cody off a hammer jump in. They're staggering deaths to make sure they get those builds online. Making sure someone's still able to defend the objectives. The Athena dashed through. Now, if we actually turn on her, she doesn't have ult. Instead, we're going to allow it to happen. We need to be willing to grab this orb, but Athena's stepping forward. We're not going to give her both. Fafnir willing to jump in. Make sure he's able to secure that. Bats has ult, decides to drop it. Can they find the damage of this Hera? She's forced to beat and shield. Monkey bounce comes through, decides to go for it. Up, downs, and unfortunately for him, Star Sample saw it coming. The bludgeon, Willix all back in. He just spawned, don't do the man like this. Unfortunately for Karmic, goes down trying to secure that kill. That's just the rough part. They have to coordinate these dives. Especially considering these team comps. Cuckoo drops. NATO almost perfectly as Gilga's forced to ult just to create some separation for his team. Athena also trying to give some mitigation movement speed to the Ratatoskr as Kukulin zones all 3 solo. Hera still pretty low. Rat does have ult, debating if he should go for it. Athena, the big step in. Trying to pick up the kill and does. The Rat's up. Unfortunately for him, he forced into a NATO or picked up by Father and Sons. And so Willix, now Gilga here alone. Does he get jump off? Unfortunately not. Bats can come in. He has ult. Cuckoo easily secured. On the other side, a Willix versus Rat in the background. A Willix trying to pick up the Ratatoskr on his tower. Not able to. This Cuckoo on Rags is doing numbers. Top damage by an absurd margin. Rags looking to do God's work. Unfortunately, trying to extend to secure the Ratatoskr. Doesn't need to as the Fafnir able to secure it with Hammer. Yeah, the AA cancel with Hydras. Agreed. They are a little nervous though. Tiger stun. That should secure the Fafnir. Now you gotta be careful. This is where we talk about staggering. Don't really want to drop your full front line between the Skull and Fafnir as your DPS is just spawning. But orbs being picked up. Kukulin content with grabbing Johnson. He rages. He's gonna do numbers. Awilix pulls Gilga's beads. Bats doesn't have ult, so probably not gonna TP to that monkey bounce, looking for anything off of it. Rat goes up. Here's that dive. Beats down on a Cuckoo. DPS is there. They find the pick on Hera. Now that's that 3-man, now 4-man dive, excuse me, on this Cuckoo. Athena dashes forward, grabs the Ord, creating some separation even more. 3-man down. Fafnir just spawning. Cuckoo, last man standing from that original group as Fafnir rejoins his team. Wukong and ult, drops his clone to tank. Aggro form Fat, goes into ult, see if they can secure anything. Beads are down on that, off that Gilgamesh from a Willox pull, so easily CCs him under tower. Faf trying to do his very best to secure the kill on the Wukong. Why this could Colin zones 3. Colin recollapses backwards, going to easily secure pickup on King Tonka, i.e. Karmic. Bats, beautiful jump away from the Kukulin damage. Taunted under. Colin's a little bit of a raid boss right now. So still almost semi-even considering drafts here. We're at 14 minutes. Pretty soon you start talking about death timers that can easily end the game. And the full damage is the Ratatosker. Cody looking to be the DPS for the squad here. He's going to make sure he's alive. Be able to push something significantly for his team. Rat goes up. Willis is waiting. The Rat was the the Cuckoo was the target, excuse me. Willis, Colin waiting in the background as this double dive. Trying to secure the second. Orb's up. Athena's ulting. Can he get that? Gets the orb. Beautifully done by the Ratatosker. Colin holding 2 in the background. Gilga steps back. Colin doing God's work on 2 of members. Ratatosker grabs orb. Athena trying to do his best to keep it off the Ratatosker, but unfortunately Kukulin still gets to the Rat. And Mystical Male going to do plenty with this Fafnir. This 3v3 melees just beating each other down as Awilix grabs that orb. Very well done. Clone Awilix unfortunately a little bit too squishy in this mix as Kukulin and Faf doing numbers together. The Thorns do prove not enough as Mystical with this Kukulin Rage is doing God's work. Gilgamesh seems to be next on the platter for father and son as they absolutely chunk down what's left of NTD. Cuckoo and Hera are going to be joining shortly. Gotta be a little careful. NATO gonna do a decent amount now that we get percent pen on this Cuckoo. Unfortunately, just ult off target. Argus will go down, so an ult expended. Orbs respawning, a beautiful hammer. But unfortunately, he's able to get out of it. Bat's able to secure the pick. Rat goes up, going to be able to close gap on this Hera, finds the target. Cuckoo ults himself thinking he was the target. Unfortunately, Hera on the other end of that aggression. Athena easily tanking. Bats Aegis and beads off of Cuckoo, just trying to survive this absurd dive. And then I make known that the T2's up. This Kakolin is doing godly things on this pick. Unfortunately for him, God's work is just not enough. Is that what I talked about? The rat damage. Hera's up in 2. Kakolin up in 20, or excuse me, in 7 now. Kakolin actually drops Heartseeker and Titans. He's looking to do damage here to try to potentially save this game. He's up. Thorns into ult. Does he have enough? DPS picked up, and unfortunately for him, NTD with this draft that we were complaining about wins the game 1. That dive proving just too much for father and son. The draft cannot hold NTD down. What a beautiful song to play simultaneously. This hurts my soul a little bit. I feel so bad. But your DPS is dead. It's unfortunate. All right. Game number 2. I gotta do this, don't I? There you go. Beautiful. So to be clear, after this game, guys, we're going to congratulate the winners, and we're going to put a poll up for the next tournament, and I'll discuss that with you guys when we put that poll up, so be ready and conscious that that's what we're looking for. Ooh. Silence comes through. These silences are going to be rough. The CC off of Nox, Kumba, and Cleo, technically. Nox is full damage. And we didn't end up going to Stormseeker, went Griffins. There's the blink. Hades looking to get in. There's the ults. Is the damage there? Yamoja goes down off the back. So unfortunately for them, Vamana is doing Vamana things. 4-man strong. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not like this. No. Shinfu is putting on a display. And he dashed under tower. They want to spend the gold right away. Dying to order a tower like that's insanely good for them. I thought that was going to go really poorly, especially with the Hades getting caught immediately off the blink with a root. Really good by the Nox. But unfortunately for them, the Hades able to get on top. Get a wonderful Hades ult to start with that, and with the Vamana ult did a little too much to father and son. I'm interested to see the healing right about mid-game. I'm going to hover that and see how the Emoja's doing. Check leveling orders here right around level 8. It's really hard to step into a double ADC with Charon. The Emoja healing is going to let them keep doing that, though. Bastions are down. Who's the Bracer? Bracer is at Kumba. So Moxie. Kumba drops all. Do they have the damage? Interesting. It's gonna be much of back and forth until they feel comfortable enough to dive with some gold, or dive and die with to get gold. It's really hard for NCD to do anything more than, like, I say that as they're doing this. Just waiting for the emoji to step out because she doesn't have beads. And I'm almost certainly an easy target for this Hades ult. Willix ults aggressively. It's gonna be really. I'm trying to figure out a way for father and son to actually fight this back in. The emoji not having beads, Hades getting her. It's almost guaranteed win condition each fight. And these ADCs are doing insane work between Cody and Shinfu. Off a simple backup with this Vamana Karmic. Just an absurd front line, creating some separation. Is it enough damage? Fortunately not. The heal from Yamoja. Proving a little too much to secure the kill on this Kuma. Just healing up this Kumbhakarna. 5 strong from NTD, looking to push. They want to wait till they have ults up, especially these two. And they'll try to catch the emoji again. It's a decent ult. Did they find the damage? Beautiful Nox ult off the lockdown from Yamoja. Mana and Charon getting chunked down pretty substantially. Some big damage from father and son as they continue to heal up back under tower with this Yamoja. Charon waiting to pop med. Pops it as soon as he gets it. There's the blank. Hades always looking for this Medusa, this Yamoja, excuse me. She has to be aware that she's always that target no matter what. I know Star Sample is waiting for level 12 to grab beads. Some good damage. Beautifully done by Chinfu with those snipes to pull down hydrogen post that ultimate. It is a bit of a bloodbath. We expected that with an assault. That's what we wanted. Ooh, she doesn't get it. What an inted for that. You gotta be careful that CC. For the C. I'm surprised they didn't actually push that. Not willing to step up with the Nox being that low. Beautiful fear by the Hades to make sure they don't find much off that route. They don't have the damage. Ooh. The cripple arrow unfortunately didn't catch that Nox. Hades caught in a weird spot here. And the damage that comes from that dash getting caught in Yamoja ult. Star Sample has had enough of that dive. Leo hovering in the wall. Now, unfortunately, the beads just lasted long enough, but I don't think it matters. She gets chased down. Beautiful route on 2. Cripple Air connects with the Nox as a Willix, excuse me, as the Jing Wei turns as much damage onto that Rama is possible. Not able to secure the kill on the Vamana. Jing forced to ult defensively as the root came through for the Charon. I love how aggressive we're getting. Beautiful Mez. Jing v Jing, but this time 2 levels down on the other side, if not a level and a half. Not necessarily a fight you're willing to take. Yemoja desperately healing up her team. Orb about to spawn shortly for father and son defensively. 5-man strong for NTD. Hades dashes in. Could be a big ult. There it is. Yemoja not level 12 with beads. Jing goes down easily. Yemoja there followed. Unfortunate for them. Med popped. NTD hungry and knocking on the door with a full wave. Nox desperately going to have to clear this. Charon caught with root, but will it be enough as the Kumba goes down? Both ADCs making sure they secure it. Rags doing God's work in the back this time. With the Cleo, waiting for the Nox to come out and help with the Vamana. Rama dashes forward, trying to secure pick. Hits 2, hits the 3rd. Chinfu hitting all 3 snipes. Needed all 3 to secure it and does easily. Chinfu, money's on the line, shows up. Double ADC. Nox get caught. Dash gets caught with the Hades Sphere. Jing used that little corridor alt to step away. Hades trying to get on top of Hydrogen, unfortunately not able to. Rama now on the back line. Dashes backwards, fine with dying, needs to for his build. But a triple kill for Hydrogen and a decent little surge back of gold. But will it be enough? As Hydrogen still needs to die to spend it. It was notable he was a level and a half and not 2 levels down in the opposing Jingwei, now level 15. It's a moment I want to see him get that build online. He's going to need to die, but not too late where the enemy team runs him down. Securing bastions before trying to attack. 4 members alive, now pathing back in. Don't have these blinks online for at least 20 seconds, so nothing super scary as far as this engage. Might just wait for the Rama before doing so. Content with pathing forward. I'm surprised we didn't grab that orb on the way out. Now it's a little weird they can grab it on the way to retreat. Just a minor micro play. These blinks are online, so she's gonna look for that Yemoja. Yemoja doesn't have beads yet. She grabbed the Yemoja again. But do they have the damage? So this was one of those times Yemoja survived that blink ult. He's up with ults. Catches the Aegis. Hydrogen on this Jingwei in the backline is doing work, but these double ADCs are looking for this bird. Kubo looks for ult. Rags, a little unfortunate. Beautiful Mez forces beads. Shell used as well via the Charon, trying to look for a counter engage. Yemoja desperately trying to heal up her team. Beautiful poke by Hydrogen. Chinfu, you gotta be careful. There's that death. Kuma goes down, no longer have that ability to defend as Chinfu dashes in, forced to Aegis. The root comes through. Is it enough damage? It is. Jing via Jing, and Hydrogen shows why he's the better. Unfortunately for him. Doesn't have much value outside of that as Hades and Vamana both back up. He needs to die to spend that gold, and that's what he's going to try to do here. Hopefully he grabs that orb on the way out. He knows he needs to die. There he goes. So he wasn't level 20, but a big death here. Some good gold spike. Finishes Dob, grabs Kins. It's notable, he is, like, when you start talking about leveling, watching it back, he was a level and a half down here on the opposing Jing. Now has gotten online. Level 19, 10, and 5. Completely reversed. Think of the comeback he's done with this team. Rags, unfortunately, not quite the Kokolin game, but obviously a little bit different of a role now, as well as composition. Hades blinks in. Emoja does have beads now, so able to beads away. Drops ult to create some beautiful separation for the ADCs. Vamana, the backline alone, unfortunately, they're able to do work with Rama ult and Vamana. It's really good by Emoja, splitting that up. Drops beads for the Charon Hades ult. So now a 4v4. It's really hard for him to get in range. Emoja desperately healing up her team. Hades, Charon ult nowhere near up yet. It is interesting to note, Kuma has blink, so he could get a big blink ult here. He wants it. He got caught with that auto. Jing didn't have beads yet, and that wouldn't be a bad target. They're not willing to take that at this moment. These blinks are down for 60, so those real engages, they won't have those quite yet. This is, I don't want to say on a razor's edge, but NTD obviously noticeably have this lead. They could easily get wiped, and the enemy team, especially composition-wise, immediately run them down with how well Hydrogen is doing and secure it all the way up to Bird. I don't know how long this goes, maybe in the game, but they're equally as close just to wiping and ending games themselves. Waiting for wave here. And it is notable to point out, we start talking about a double ADC, one normally going this pen build, the other one going crit. It's Rama, 12 and 4, equally putting up the numbers. Going crit himself. So Charon forced the ult. The Nox didn't feel like she had to drop ult or Aegis there. Unfortunately, that CC, especially at this level, 1 CC is all that's going to take. Turns into a CC chain and you're just dead, unfortunately for her. There's the Hades in. Ooh. They caught Hydrogen, so they changed their target from this Emoja to make sure they got the Jing, and that proved the complete difference for this team. They caught Hydrogen, and it turned in a game off that back of that. They don't need wave. This is easily the GG that NTD were looking for as they drop everything to secure it out in a 2-0 and a GG. The winners of your BBC $500 Assault Lock Tournament: King Tonka, Cody, Chinfu, Remakami, and Fauna. I told you guys, the composition is everything. Call it out long before it happens. You guys need to go back and watch VODs, because apparently we haven't done it enough in Michelle. Got to work on that. Competitive game is very different than a casual. NTD, big winners here. Take a look at the damage charts.